And here we go. First look at our new tractor. This is what a tax return looks like in the United States. So this is a 1977 Kubota B7100 that we just picked up. And this little thing is sweet. It's got front and rear PTOs. It's just about 1,800 hours on the clock. Four-wheel drive, high-low range. This thing is sweet. It's got a 3-cylinder diesel, and it's definitely going to be doing a whole bunch of work for us. And in this video, guys, I'm going to introduce you to it. I'm going to run you through it, and we're going to go through everything. Okay, I'm going to run through change all the fluids, change all the filters, and get this thing in a workable condition. So yeah, there you go. This is a Kubota video. First up is a full pressure wash. We're gonna clean off everything. This has 40 years worth of dirt on it, so let's get it clean and figure out where all the leaks are coming from, and let's get to it. All right, there you guys go. It's pretty much as clean as we're gonna get her. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the engine oil. We're gonna do the transmission oil, differential oils, front and rear. There's a whole bunch of little filters associated with the transmission too. We're gonna get those. We're gonna change the oil filter while we do the oil. Right in here, there's that diesel filter right there. We're gonna clean that out. And the steering needs adjustment. Okay, so per the manual, it's allowed 1 inch, 0 to 1 inch. So that's a little bit more than that. We're gonna adjust the steering. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. And then in the next video, we're gonna swap these tires out. These are so dry rotted and cracked. This one, the other side is actually way worse. Yeah, look at that. That's real bad. So yeah, we're gonna order some tires for it, and yeah, I'll show you guys how to swap that out. But in the meantime, let's get all this fluid out. Another fun video is gonna be fixing this bucket. You can see that it's bowed out right here, and we're gonna straighten that out on both sides and get it looking really, really nice. So that'll be a fun video for sure. Stay tuned for that in the future. You know what? Before we get started with all the oil changes, why don't we do a little introduction? So yeah, this is a 1977 B7100 Kubota, and this is old school. Okay, this is not a hydrostatic tractor. This is old school gears. This thing is so cool. So yeah, here's the key here. You turn it to the left for these glow plugs, to preheat the engine, and there's actually a little coil in there that gets hot, and it actually glows red. It's real cool. But yeah, that's how you start it. Preheat it for about 20 to 30 seconds based on the temperature, and then cranker. Clutch has got to go in. This clutch safety mechanism is so funny. That's the safety mechanism right there. And that just completes the circuit and allows the starter to go through. And yeah, let's take a look at this gearbox here. So it's got high range and low range. Right now it's just in neutral. Yeah, reverse, first gear, second gear, third gear. That's actually fourth gear, fifth gear, and sixth gear, because it's in high range right now. Here's the PTO selector. It's in neutral right now, but you got 3 speeds in the rear. And let's see here. This is your 4-wheel drive. Right now it's in 2. And then this guy is your low range and high range. Right now it's in high range. This is really cool right here, this little feature. This pedal is a diff lock. Yeah, how cool is that? It locks the diff in the rear. I don't think it locks, maybe it even locks it in the front. I got to read the manual. But yeah, it's so cool. A little foot pedal diff lock. Down here is, that's just the throttle. The throttle is tiny compared to this massive brake. And this brake is really cool because you can actually separate the sides. So front and or right and left brake. Really, really cool. But we're gonna keep them together. And yeah, bucket controls. exhaust. The exhaust can be mounted up or down. And yeah, this little thing is really, really cool. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, from Japan, just about 1,800 hours on the clock. And this was actually a factory option. Believe it or not, this was optional. And yeah, the owner did not get this. So this has just been sitting empty. This isn't missing. This was a factory option. And yeah, because we have all the original paperwork, this option was not selected. And this is a decompression knob for when your battery's really low. So the way the manual explained this decompression knob here is you pull it out when the battery's really low, when the engine's really hard to start. So you pull that out, put the clutch in, crank the starter, and then slam that decompression knob back in, and it should start right up, kind of like a little jump start for you. Yeah, you got the air filter on the side there. I actually open it up and it's filthy dirty. So that's for sure going to get replaced. But there you guys go. This thing is super rad. I'm super excited to have this on the farm. You know, Megan has her horse, so this is going to be super handy for that. And yeah, let's change all the fluids. I'm actually going to keep talking about this thing because it is just so cool. So these axles are hexagonal axles. I don't know if I said that right, but they're 6-sided. That is just so cool. This one's actually pretty loose. I don't know if you can see how loose that is, but there's this little hub here that we would just need to replace if it gets too worn. The cool thing about these wheels, okay, you can actually adjust the width of the wheels. Let me show you how to do that. So you can see here, you can actually adjust it out. So the axles, they have holes in them for that pin, and you can literally move the axle, move the wheel in and out of the axle. And I think that's real cool. Yeah, we're probably going to make these as wide as possible for stability and for those tires we're putting on, because the tires that we're about to order, they are not these skinny little stocks. They are big. I think the tires we got are about 12.5 inches wide and 37 inches tall, and these look like they're 9 inches wide and like 31 or 32 inches. So we're definitely upgrading the tires, and I'll walk you guys through that in another video, because it's actually a lot more complicated than it looks, because you gotta keep the ratios the exact same for the rear and the front. There you have it. This is our new little tractor, and yeah, I don't know, I can't stop talking about it. This thing's so rad. Let's change this oil. All right, the oil is warm and we're getting ready to drain it, and I just want to bring you guys underneath and show you guys how cool this thing actually is. So this is the front differential here. We're going to be putting 80/90 in that, same as the transmission. And then, yeah, look, these are little portal axles, little wheel cases here, gear cases, I mean. And yeah, port, drain. So we got to drain this too, fill it up with 80/90, drain this, fill it with 80/90, drain that, and then the, I don't know if you guys can see the drain plug for the engine. It's over there. That takes 1030 according to the manual, but we're going to be putting 1540 in it because that's what we got, and it'll be just fine. It's a little heavier, but it's not that cold here, so, and summer's coming, it'll be totally fine. This thing is so cool. Yeah, this is it's not the tightest here, but it's, I mean, the ball joints in Megan's truck are definitely worse. Here's that front PTO right there. We got headlights staring down at us. Yeah, this thing is so rad. All right, well, let's drain it and go eat some lunch. I'm guessing this oil is going to be real black. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely a diesel. Yeah. But you know what? At least she's got oil. All right, so while that's draining and before we get a paper towel, we're going to open up these ports here before we drain them. Where's that at? It's over there. Because little life advice for you guys, open up your ports before you drain your oil. That's a hard lesson I learned on the Land Rover. When I first did it, I just drained the oil, and then that port was seized up, and we had the toughest time getting it open because we couldn't drive anywhere. We were stuck without differential oil. So yeah, open all the ports, make sure they're all rust free, and you can open them before you drain any oil. Anyway, yep, take my advice for sure. All right, next up, this differential. And this was actually, I thought I got the wrong size socket. It was that loose. Come on, there we go. Okay. That doesn't look too bad at all. It's not flowing great though. Should definitely be flowing a little bit better, but let's see what that looks like. Huh. All right, that's an interesting washer. Yeah, it ain't flowing that great. Port's open. But it's not filled with water, so that's the good thing. That's honestly, it's a little milky, but it's not filled with water, and it's not a chocolate milkshake, so it's oil. And it's a good thing that we checked those ports because that one's seized. So yeah, while this is draining, we're gonna spray some WD-40 on that and go get some lunch. All right, it's after lunch, and it looks like we got some shenanigans going on here. This thing is seized on there real good, and honestly, it looks like it's never even been opened. It looks like it's still factory paint all the way down. So yeah, it's seized up pretty good, so we got to take the wheel off and chip away at it. All right, we got that loosened up. Just needed some leverage from the old trusty adjustable. But yeah, something interesting that I noticed is that this guy actually is running these wheels inside out, or backwards, whatever you want to call it. Interesting to get a little wider stance. Well, we're gonna keep doing it. I like it. All right, while that left gear case is draining, the left front gear case, we're gonna try to adjust the steering. And this steering box just adjusts like any steering box, where you just gotta loosen the outside locking nut, and then there's another nut on the inside that the actual adjustment is for. Now, I'm trying to do this with a phone in my hand. There we go. And you just adjust it, and I mean little bit at a time. Little bit at a time. And we'll kind of feel that play. See if that feels the exact same. So go just a little bit more. And this is manual steering. I'll go a little bit more. Yeah, this is a manual steering box. No power steering here. All right, that feels a little bit tighter. Yeah. Just a little bit more. You don't want it to bind either. Ideally, you do this up on a stand, and you can move the wheels a little bit better. And then you can go all the way to the left, all the way to the right, make sure there's no binding. It's a little bit tight. It's a little bit too tight, but I think that'll be all right. We can readjust it later. We're gonna tighten that back down. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. All right, and then we'll get back to the differentials. We got to fill them up. They're all drained now, but filling differentials is always fun. And then we got to tackle the rear diff and the transmission. There's still a couple filters in there we got to get to. The fuel filter looks like it's in pretty bad condition. I don't know if we're gonna get to that today. And yeah, we'll see what else we can get to. That feels a lot better. All right, yeah, we're filling this last gear case here. Got the other side all done. So this is a little trick that I learned with the Land Rover. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I just use these quarts, and they're perfect little nozzles that yeah, fit right in pretty much. I don't have any pumps or anything like that. I just always do it this way. Yeah, there you go. You just fill it till it starts overflowing, and they're full. We're just buttoning that up, and we got a visitor. That's George Jones and Megan. Hey, bud. How's he doing today?
Good.
What the heck what do you got going on?
Just a neck rope. We're working on riding without a bridle.
Fancy. All right, well. All right, we're underneath it on the back end, about to drain one side of the transmission. It takes 3 gallons, so the transmission oil is, powers the hydraulics. And it all takes 80-90 gear oil, which is interesting. There's actually 2 drain plugs. There's one on this side, and there's one over here. Oh yeah, that oil is nice and clean. That's what you like to see for sure. That doesn't look like gear oil though. No, that doesn't look like gear oil at all. Doesn't feel like gear oil. All right, we're just draining the other side here, and that definitely doesn't look like gear oil. It doesn't smell like gear oil. And yeah, so we don't really want to mix oils. We don't want to put gear oil in there. Okay, so we've come to a couple conclusions here. That definitely 100% wasn't gear oil. It was super thin. The gear oil in the front was super thick. This was super thin. And gear oil, you can smell it right away. It's got a very distinct smell. So we're thinking that that was a lot thinner. We're thinking it was hydraulic fluid. So we went to the store, picked up some of this universal hydraulic fluid, and yeah, we're thinking that's what was in there. You know, that oil was very similar to the hydraulics in the Fuso, and yeah, so, and yeah, we don't want to put gear oil in there, even though the book calls for it, because the lines are still all full of that same oil. Like there's a reservoir, all the lines are still full. We just drained it. We didn't flush the whole system. So we want to replace it with pretty much what was in there. So yeah, we're going with that. And yeah, 3 gallons, and I think she'll be good to go. All right, we got the last bolt in here, that bolt right there. Got to undo it. That's the suction line for the hydraulic fluid, and there's a screen behind it. There's a little hydraulic fluid, transmission fluid filter that we got to clean out. Hopefully it's nice and clean. That's going to tell us a lot about what we got going on for sure. Here we go. Here's the transmission fluid filter / hydraulic fluid filter. Well, yeah, it's looking a little particly, but compared to our other rigs, it actually looks great. We change our transmission fluid once a year in the Land Rover, and yeah, we just changed it in the Fuso too, and let me tell you, it was way chunkier than this. This isn't bad at all. I know this might look bad to some of you guys, but to me, this is it's relative, and it's relatively good. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead, clean it off, and slip it back in, fill her back up, and call it a night for sure, because that sun's setting. All right, she's oiled up. She's not greased up. We're gonna do all the grease fittings tomorrow, and yeah, we need grease for the CVs and all the ball joints, and a lot of grease is needed. We're gonna do that tomorrow. But let's start her up. So right now, Maggie's she's letting it preheat. Got to hold it there for about 20 seconds. I wonder if we'll be able to see that. Yeah, look at that. They're glowing. That's awesome.
Okay, so now what do I do?
All right, so needs a little bit of gas. Not too much, just a little bit. Clutch in, make sure it's in neutral. I think it's in gear right now. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Start her up. There you go. All right, your parking brake's on. You can go ahead and take it off.
How do I do that?
Just step on the brake. Just like that. Yeah, it's good. All right, you want to drive her? You want to make sure that these work. Nice. Nice. All right, take her for a spin. All right, that's going to be it for the Kubota tonight. Yeah, we got all the oil changed, transmission, engine, differentials, wheel gear cases. Everything's changed. Everything's clean. Everything's good to go. Tomorrow we have to grease everything. Everything needs to be greased. We also need to change the air filter and probably replace a couple of the seals and some of those pistons. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's a new day, and yesterday we changed all the oil, and today we're just gonna grease every nipple that we can find. We're gonna grease it up real good and then put her straight to work. All right, we came across our first issue. Second nipple, first issue. And I don't think this has ever been greased other than factory grease, to be honest with you, because the nipple was clogged. So we took the nipple out, unclogged it, but there's actually what looks like hardened grease that's stuck in there. We put the nipple back in and it's still clogged even though the nipple's unclogged. So it looks like that old grease pretty much turned to concrete and is now blocking it. So we're gonna have to slowly pick it out and get it unclogged. All right, we unclogged it and you can see all the crap that came out of there, just old grease and dirt. Got everything greased up, went on to our next fitting. Same thing, clogged up. So yeah, looking like this is gonna be a trend, and what was supposed to be a 20-minute job is probably gonna turn into a 3-hour job. But that's an old tractor for you. All right, we greased about 10 nipples, and this guy here took the rest of our grease. I'm guessing that's the grease for the CV, because yeah, those CVs look real dry, and so I'm guessing a lot of this stuff hasn't been greased in a very, very long time. This one was clogged real bad too. But yeah, we got to run to the store and get some more. All right, we greased and declogged every nipple we could find. I'm sure there's one or two that we missed, probably on the drive shafts. Yeah, there's probably a couple U-joints in there, but for now it's gonna be good to go because we got some work to do. Yeah, everything's nice and greased. She's got fresh oil. That took a lot. But yeah, we're gonna go work this thing. I'm pretty dang excited about it. And we're off. We got a bunch of work to do. So I'll see you guys next time, probably working on the Unimog next week. And in the next video on this tractor, we're gonna be redoing those tires. And I'll show you guys how to mount tractor tires. All right, you ain't getting stuck, you ain't trying hard enough. See you guys later.